Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to part two of our Twilio series as part of our Telecom Wise Guys events that we put on here at Commio. Appreciate you spending some time with us today. I'm pretty excited, as always, to be joined by Andy Constantino. He is our Commio sales engineer. He is literally the rubber on the tire that meets the road when we do integrations and getting things up and running. So, Andy, I know you're busy, man. Appreciate you hanging with us today.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it sounded very formal. I apologize. I'm just kidding. Uh, Everybody, just welcome in. I think Andy and I love to talk about Twilio, and I think the reason is that Twilio is very well known out in the marketplace as a great platform for creating CPaaS experiences and IVR workflows, and they're really good at what they do. The challenge is that their carrier layer underneath is a black box, and people who have applications built on Twilio when their traffic is relatively light, and I'm talking about calls and text messages, there's not too much concern about paying your monthly Twilio bill because you don't have a lot of traffic. People really get into trouble when they see their voice or their calling start to ramp. They need more calls per second. They need more capacity for text messaging, and that's when the bills suddenly become thousands, or in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars, and they go looking for something like Commio. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but if we just step into this, just a quick reminder of this bring your own carrier idea, right, Andy? So if you go to Twilio's site, there's a whole section on there devoted to BYOC, isn't that right?
That's correct. And they will step you right through the process of setting it up. It is quite simple.
Yeah. So you don't have to change almost anything in your Twilio account to enjoy this. You have to change a few settings, and we're actually going to go through that whole process here in a minute to show you how easy it is. But literally, you can create the largest IVR workflow you want. You can host, a pretty complicated app on their platform, but you don't need a developer to unlock this bring your own carrier opportunity to save money and also gain control of your calling and your text messaging. So it just takes a few minutes to do it. And it can really, most people save anywhere from 30 to 50% on their Twilio bill for that carrier layer. So there's a lot of other platforms, by the way, than Twilio that also do bring your own carrier. And there's a reason for that is because, a lot of these platform companies, like Twilio, Nexmo, Plevo, SignalWire, like they want to focus on their platforms, right? They want you to be able to build something cool, but that carrier piece is, like I mentioned for Twilio, it's a black box. They may have one or two voice carriers, just one or two interconnects, whatever it is for text messaging. But people, when they start to ramp, they want to improve the quality of the audio. When things go awry, which guess what, guys, they're going to go awry at some point. You need to have a disaster recovery solution built in so you can actually recover from an outage or a service interruption without being down too long. And you can't do that with their stocks, with their stock integrations, right? It's like you got to send that support ticket and pray, basically, whether it's a couple hours or in some cases, a few days of downtime. With Bring Your Own Carrier, you can get more control. So you can also get access to lots of numbers. You can easily port numbers in and out. By the way, better customer support because Andy, unfortunately, it's true. It's kind of hard to get to Twilio support, isn't it?
That's correct. It really is. And,
Yeah.
on our platform, not only can you launch support directly from the platform, but you can also call somebody and get a live body.
Yes, which is tough. I mean, Twilio's a huge company. We understand. And by the way, if you really want that platinum level service, I would call it, you got to pay for it. And it's several $1,000s a month, I believe, last time I checked to get that from Twilio. With somebody like Commio who does bring your own carrier, it's included. So if you have a problem with a number, if whatever the question is, you can actually come to us through our support system, get a body on it, and get an answer. And that's a big deal. And we also invite you to, and we'll include this in the email, by the way, recording of this event together. But you can also go to our Twilio cost savings calculator, and we'd love to, you can use your own data, pull up your last invoice from last month, guys. You just probably just got one because it's the beginning of the month now, and punch in how many numbers do you have, how many minutes do you have, all those good things, and we can actually literally show you one to one exactly how much you would have paid Commio for the telecom cost layer of your Twilio bill. So you've got your platform fees from Twilio over here, and then what would our bill have been for that same amount of calling or texting that you've done? So invite you to do that because we'd love to help you save money, but also unlock all the other benefits. Um, so we did actually do an event together not too long ago, Andy, which we will share the link to that original webinar as well. Um, and also, we have a great ebook that's coming out. So today, I think we want to go ahead and switch over and say there's a lot of great information on the website, and we'll show that to you in a second. And we want to walk through this whole process of how to integrate Outbound. So with that, let me go ahead and switch over. All right, Andy, you can see my screen, right?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. So if you go to our site, commio.com, and you just go over here to products and click on bring your own carrier, look familiar? This is where you can get started. So when you get into this section of our site, you can learn more about how we integrate with a couple different folks, including Twilio. And this will give you all the information that you need. So we're going to go ahead and go to Twilio Connect. And there are actually two very easy walkthroughs that we built with the help of Andy. One of them is for outbound voice, for placing those calls, and one is for inbound voice, right? So if you need the numbers and the sort of the inbound piece. But today we're going to skip inbound for now, but we're going to really focus on outbound. So I'm going to go ahead and blow this up. And all right, let's see. We still good there, Andy? You can see our
I can
big
see
screen.
it.
Okay, great. So basically, when you go in here, it's gonna walk you through. So this is actually the Commio platform. So Andy, why don't you go ahead and you can walk us through. The first step is setting a routing profile, right?
That's correct. What the routing profile essentially is doing is saying any traffic coming from Twilio to our platform and hitting this profile, we're going to handle that traffic and we're going to use these carriers in a intelligent routing environment to successfully complete the call. Very simply, you add a new profile here. We're going to use North America as our example. You could be international, it could be global. Global would be both. We're going to use our intelligent routing engine. Of course, we got to give it a name. We can go next here.
Yep.
And then we expose the carriers to you. What's important about this is these are our 40 vetted high quality carriers. They're all stir shaking compliant. We're tested through stir shaking compliance. This gives you the opportunity to know which carriers you're working with. This is set up so that you have full control over it. You can do what you need to do if there is a carrier on here that you know doesn't behave well with your traffic. You can turn them off. But there's 40 carriers here. So you just have to save this off. Go next. And then we're going to create a trunk. The importance of the trunk is our connection to Twilio. So if we go ahead and hit add here, we're going to select Twilio as Tim pointed out earlier. Nexmo, Plevo, SignalWire have an integration with us. We're going to have to give the trunk a name and then assign that route profile that we previously created. Next thing we want to do, go ahead, hit next,
Yep.
is we want to capture the trunk token. The trunk token is essentially an API token that Twilio will send into our platform. We set our connection up or our integration up so that they'd have to know our account number as well as getting this trunk uh, uh, token so that they could terminate calls to my platform or to the Commio platform. Of course, you need to make a copy of that. And then we're going to leave the Commio platform and we're going to go to your Twilio instance. The first thing you have to do, I built the TWIML bins. It's simple, it's easy to use, but I'll kind of walk you through it. There are a few methods that you can use on Twilio, but we're going to use this one for our example today. Go ahead, next. So when we created it, next. We're going to create this TWIML bin, and I just added a few things. It's a very simple TWIML. What I did is I said, hey, I want to put a response in there when the call is going to go out. It says, please hold for sales engineer Andy. I'm going to send it to um, that phone number. I'm going to convert it to a SIP number or to a SIP call. I'm going to send it to Commio. I'm going to use that account. Oops, can we go back 1 second?
Yeah,
We're
sorry.
it's speed. It speeds, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it's not giving me the back here. I can just do it
Yeah,
here.
you can hit the yeah.
There we go. Sorry. There you go.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep, you see it in
So
here,
any
right? The
yep.
ID and the token. Exactly.
Yep, that's exactly right. You got to put it out, and this is, where you're doing a dial, converts it to a SIP call, and that's how we identify that call on the Commio platform for your account. Okay,
Makes
next.
sense. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
That's built, so we're going to use that. The next thing we want to do is we want to build an origination policy. And an origination policy, what that really is it's telling us, go ahead and next. It's
Yep.
telling us um, how to route that call to our platform. So if we hit next here, we're going to give the policy. We're going to tell them that we're going to give it a name. We're going to give it the origination connection. We're going to put the whole SIP URI in there. Um, that way it'll have the account number as well as the token in there as we go on. And then it's, the priority and wait are things that are just default.
Yep.
And it's set up. So what that's saying is you're going to send it to sip.wap.think to this account using this token on that trunk.
Gotcha.
Mhm. So
Yep.
that's just how it looks to the origination connection policy and the TWIML, how they work together.
Right. This is what you'd have on your notepad ready to go for the integration.
Yes,
This is all
that
you
is
need.
correct. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Now I went back. I grew up in Cleveland. I bought a Cleveland phone number, and now I want to route that number. So let's go ahead and hit next. And when we were looking at that number, what we're saying is here's what we want to configure it with. In this case, I built a Twiml bin, but as you can see, there are other things like Studio Flow. All those things can be used as well. But that's what I did. So we can go next. We're going to save that configuration. And now what we've done is we've successfully updated that number. When that number makes a call, it's going to go out it's going to go to the Commio platform and complete on our platform over one of our 40 carriers. Not only is this a cost saving environment, but another thing that it does, because you don't have any control over the Twilio carriers, if the call fails, you have to take care of it with Twilio. You have to go through that process. On my platform, if the call fails, you can troubleshoot it on my platform. You have the CDR available to you, as well as being able to identify the carrier that it failed on by name and ID, and you can turn it off and continue on your way.
There you go. Yeah, so we've totally showed you guys the entire process from start to finish of, setting up setting up your account on Commio all the way through how to set it up on the Twilio side. That's really it. And we've only been on a call now for less than 10 minutes, and the whole entire process is documented. So you can really see how easy it is, to pull this off. To enjoy those savings, but also get the control, because we didn't really go into the other areas of the platform, Andy, but you know, you will have an account at Commio. So again, let's say that something did happen and your calls, either the phone stopped ringing or you were unable to deliver calls, or there was some sort of an outage or an event. You could literally go into our platform and do the troubleshooting, pieces that
That's
you'd like
correct.
to see. Yeah, which carriers are having issues. You can set route blocks in specific locations. So again, for Twilio users that are ramping up and really have a need for, as bulletproof as possible calling and messaging, we do have, a Twilio connection. I think that would work great for you. And Andy and our team are available to help with the, with
That's
the
correct.
setup. And how many of these have you done, Andy? You've done a lot of these.
Countless at this
Lost
point. There's
count.
just been too
Yeah,
many of them.
that's great. Well, that's great, Andy. And this is what I wanted to cover, guys. It's just really what is the Twilio Bring Your Own Carrier? How does it work for outbound calling? We've got all the instructions on our website there under products. And we'd love to open it up to any questions that anybody might have about this. Use the chat feature there and we can ask them. Um, we did get a question about the phone number availability. So Andy, when you work with Twilio folks, they're buying numbers from us, and that's sort of the inbound piece, right?
That's correct. That is the inbound piece. And you got to keep in mind that Commio's DID availability covers 95% of the one plus numbering plan. That means that if you have offices all over the country in Canada and a few of the Caribbean islands, you can get a number on our platform. And if you're still using Twilio as your CPaaS provider, we can route that number from our platform to their platform to do the things that you want to do. You may have IVR, call recording, things like that.
Right.
As you process that, that same phone call can then be terminated on the Commio platform as well, just like this demo we just did.
That's right. I think somebody's asking, they said, is this a sanctioned, solution from Twilio? I think we showed at the beginning when there is an entire section of Twilio's knowledge base that talks about this. I mean, this is something that they actually encourage and welcome, right?
That's right, and not to belabor the point, but Twilio is not a carrier in the sense of being a telecom carrier. That is what Commio is. That is what we do. We do
Right.
lots of things. We have other um, uh, features and products, but at the core of it, to solve this issue, we are a telecom provider that gives you a lot of access and gives you a lot of control over the call flow.
Exactly. Yeah. Disaster recovery, phone number availability, support, and up to 50% cost savings. It's not hard to understand why so many people have really taken advantage of this. And we're ready to help you. So we thank you guys for joining us today. We will be sending out a recording of this, obviously, to all the registrants. It'll be posted on our website. And if you'd like, go over to commio.com, explore the product section, look at our integrations here with Twilio, and don't hesitate to click the See It in Action button and reach out and let's schedule 15 minutes with Andy and our team, and we could talk about what are you doing on Twilio or any of these other CPaaSs that you think a Bring Your Own Carrier could work, and we'll very quickly be able to help you out. So we'd love to have that opportunity. So, Andy, appreciate your time today
Thank you.
and everybody else for the call. And we'll talk to everybody real soon. Appreciate your time today. Thanks a
All
lot.
right, bye.